Hello, hello. I am Sinner, and today I am back with another book review. This time it's a novel. It's The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, which was very enjoyable. It was very quick, and I kind of liked the way he wrote. It was very wordy, and he would like be very colorful with his writing, and I thought that was neat. A very short book though, very like 100 and something pages, like 125 pages. Very short book. And I also read the Congo Diary, so this is technically a double review. Um, but yeah, interesting book. I thought the metaphor was interesting, and I think he did a really good job in the book of really setting the tone and the atmosphere of like this foreign alien land that's sort of scary and impenetrable um, and these sorts of things. And the plot with Mr. Kurtz was sort of interesting. By the way, spoilers. I'm going to spoil everything. And sort of like how it turns out Mr. Kurtz basically became a savage tribe leader, and how the company was sort of just evil and using everyone for profit, not really caring about anything. Yeah, it was an interesting book. I think that's sort of it's not like a profound or new statement for me, because saying like humans have a capacity for savagery is, which is basically what the book's about. It's about human savagery, um, not only from the perspective of the natives being kind of savage, but also from the perspective and the fact that people can fall to that, which is the character of Kurtz, but also from the perspective of like the company and their use of slavery and their exploitation of the natives. So it's like a double whammy. Like everyone's a savage, right? So it's a very pessimistic book. Um, and yeah, I thought the the metaphor about the heart of darkness was, it was pretty neat, you know. I mean, because it's such a short book, they can, you know, Joseph Conrad sort of has the ability to make the whole story part of this big metaphor where they're going up the Congo River into the dark jungle, or as he calls it, the heart of darkness, right? But it's also, the darkness is human depravity, I guess. That's sort of what I got from it. Like the human savagery is the heart of darkness that exists, and it's sort of like this primordial thing that's brought out by the jungle. Also, I thought like the language about the jungle was pretty cool in the book. You know, the way he described the Congo and the jungle with like language that would make the jungle seem evil or oppressive or characteristic in that way, like it's imposing in like a uh, it's imposing its like wild nature, forcing its wild nature onto the people there, and like that's cool. Turning the setting, I think the idea of turning the setting into a metaphor in the story that like plays into the theme of the story is a cool thing. I've not really seen that done much. I've seen like a bit of it done in Blood Meridian, because if you've read Blood Meridian, like whenever uh, they talk about the desert, um, whenever Cormac McCarthy talks about like the desert, the Wild West, and the mountains and the Sonoran Desert and all that sort of stuff, he always uses this language that like it's evil, like an oppressive, the desert, with its lack of resources, the dryness, and everything. And Conrad does something similar, but he actually adds like metaphorical weight to it, because it plays into the theme that like there's this primordial savagery that sort of forces its way onto humanity. And it's, yeah, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Um, yeah, Congo Diary was pretty boring. Not much to say on that. It's just him and his expedition through the Congo. Um, but yeah, overall, good read. When I read the reviews, it was kind of weird because everyone either loved it or like they hated it. There was no one who was like, it's all right, it's pretty good, which is sort of how I feel about it. Everyone seemed to think it was like this masterpiece, or that Joseph Conrad was some sort of racist and his book sucked. And I don't think I agree with either of those opinions, but it's still a good book. I think you should read it if you like novels, I guess. Anyway, that's all. Um, I'm Sinner. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.